Hey everyone, this is Josh from Beyond Fitness, and recently we had a question on the Beyond Fitness Facebook page regarding free refeed days, what they are, what the purpose of them is, and if they are necessary or not. Now, because of this question, I decided to go ahead and break this question down into a two-part video series. The first part, I am going to argue for refeeds and say why they should be implemented into one's diet. And in the second part, which will be the next video, I'm going to argue against refeeds and say why they are not necessary and why they shouldn't be implemented into one's diet. Basically, I'm doing it this way because I don't like to see things in black and white. I kind of like to see a gray area. So I want to have one video pretty much arguing why they should be implemented and one video why they should not be implemented. Now, before I go on and argue why they should be implemented in this first part series, I'm going to give a brief explanation on what a refeed basically is. When dieting, we're pretty much going to be doing both of these parts when in a cutting stage. We're not going to really focus on the gaining phase for refeeds, even though you can throw in refeed days while you are bulking. But basically in a cutting stage, let's say that one is in a 500 calorie deficit. So you may have 1 or 2 days per week where you raise those calories back up to maintenance, where most of the calories are going to be coming from carbohydrates. So that's pretty much what a refeed day is. The other days of the week you're going to be in a 500 to 750 caloric deficit, depending on how big of a deficit that you wish to be in. And the other day, or how many days per week that you have a refeed day, let's just say that you have 1 day per week where you have a refeed day, you're going to be bumping your calories back up to maintenance just for that day only. So basically, let's go ahead and jump right in to why I find that refeed days can be advantageous and why one should implement refeed days. First off, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's just 1 day per week where you're bumping your calories up to maintenance. It's not really going to hurt your fat loss long term, because the other 6 days of the week, assuming that you only have 1 free refeed day, you're going to be in that deficit. So 1 day per week, that's not going to kill you. That's 4 days per month. Assuming that you're in a 500 caloric deficit, you're only going to have 1 day per week where you're not in that 500 calorie deficit. And that's going to be around 2,000 calories that you're going to be missing out on in a deficit over a month, which isn't even a pound. So, all in all, it's not really a big deal. The second advantage of having a refeed day is basically just psychological. I mean, you have that 1 day per week that you always get to look forward to. Think about that. You're dieting, you're probably hungry all the time. It's probably getting to your head at certain times. I mean, you're just waiting. I mean, you might consume all your calories at 7 p.m. and knowing that you can't eat any more calories until the next morning, it's going to start getting to your head and you're going to be hungry and all that. So if you have, you can say 2 days from now, I get to consume up to my maintenance. I get to have all these extra carbs, and you can think about the foods that you get to eat. So that is a huge advantage, I would say. Thirdly, another advantage is because you have that day that you get to look forward to, and you're not going to be hardcore dieting for weeks, months on end, it may decrease your chances of binging on your diet by having a day where you're just like, oh, screw this, I'm going to eat, and you may go off and eat, 6,000 or more calories in a single day. Whereas if you had that 1 day per week in there where you actually had a refeed, you may not go off and have that binge. So basically, those are the 3 advantages that I'm going to come up with on why someone should implement a refeed day or 2 into their diet while cutting. In the next series, in my next video, I'm going to give a few reasons on why someone should not implement a refeed and why they may not be necessary. So, until I release that video, if you enjoyed the content in this one, please like this video if you did, subscribe to my Josh Anderson Fitness YouTube channel, like the Beyond Fitness Facebook page, which I will put the link in the description below. And until next time, I will see you guys later.